Good morning. Be right there. All right. Get some charts up here. Uh, okay. So, little capitulation yesterday in the software ETF. It made the news. It's not at the bottom of support yet, but we'll see if it gets there or not. I noticed Microsoft was down a whole bunch earlier. So that maybe it's an exhaustion gap. We'll see what happens with that today. But um, you know, this is a bear market. It's down a huge amount from its high, and I think the fact that it's now making the news. There was an article. What was it? Market Watch sent an article about this in AI, uh, and so when the news starts coming out stating what's going on, many times it's getting closer to um, maybe a low point. That being said, you know, it's got to go sideways. It's got to retest. It's got to form some kind of a pattern, but it did accelerate. And so pointing out here the acceleration from a base historically results in lower prices. And then you got a little retracement there. And it didn't even get up to this minor resistance area. So sellers came in early and then it accelerates again. So when we're looking for low points, right, what we're watching for, right, is if the next low, right, the lows are getting closer together versus being further apart. And that's when you know momentum is slowing down. Many might look at that through oscillators, which are very deceptive. But if you just watch the lows, and this is just one bar with a bottoming tail bar, it would take three to the right to form a pivotal point. And then we watch to see if we get lows that are closer together. And then we start having real information that's supportive that things are starting to create a bottom. So based on what I saw a little while ago, Microsoft, I'm surprised to see that this wasn't down even more, but there's a whole lot of stocks in there. Uh, and so you see, it's gapping down below that low. And that isn't anywhere near support. We're looking for the whole number, and support is down there. At some point, institutions are coming back for this. Clearly, it's not happening yet. All right. Markets are down here a little bit more this morning. As always, we look to the left. These are the futures. Odds are it's going to come and test that area and possibly, we'll see what happens. But 6,800 would be where it would likely stall. Now, this isn't SPX, which we'll take a look at, but since the futures, we look to the left, we see it's a pivot there. That is a whole number. And then we'll see how it lines up with the SPX alignment or not. And here's that whip around the up day and the down day. A bit lower down below. Some initial support here on the 65-minute, which is supportive of it's likely to keep going down here. There's nothing to stop it. Uh, so that's the bias for now. It's going to go down there, should go down there, unless it begins to form some type of a bottom at a minimum on a 5-minute chart. See where SPY is. And you can see my cursor. This is yesterday's low. And there's a reversal down a little bit more. So just like we've been doing with the Qs the last couple of days intraday, picking off day trades as it starts to make a turn, we do the same thing, meaning that's a high probability area. Let's get rid of this. So we look for high probability areas. And so in the spiders, it's down here. Now, we wait and see if it'll go down there or not. If it's headed down there, that's where we wait. We look for, like I explained in that video, NYSE tick extremes. Maybe a trader pivot line is down there. We look for a confluence of other technical concepts or reference points in alignment with that. Ultimately, it's about the swing low down there. So be waiting to see, lower high, lower lows, it's heading lower, and we'll see if it can get down there today. A lot of support. And ideally, it would go down there today, meaning 3 days down. Maybe it doesn't bounce very much. Who knows what it's going to do when it gets down there. What we do know is there's going to be buyers down there. And then we'll just see, how they react at that level. And the 20 MA is equal to the 100 on the daily. So we've got a moving average reference point. I don't have to put it on there. You can do yourself. But the 100 period moving average is lined up about with that swing low. So swing low, moving average reference point. Maybe there'll be a high volume in SPX down here, which we're going to take a look at now. As I said, we're looking for things to line up. Now, you might note this 5-day ATR that we look at. A couple of days ago, it was 40. So this is one measure. We could look at it as one measure. Hey, the ranges are opening up. That means it's getting a little maybe climactic. It's not on support yet. And the range could, of course, increase further. But I'm just pointing out, it wasn't more than a few days ago that it was less than half of that. So major support is down here. Let me recheck this number. Looks like it moved up a little bit. Look at a 666. It's actually just based on the numbers would be 6665 right now. That's what it was a few minutes ago. So it's another sign in a sense of short-term capitulation. I mean, you've got option traders now betting that it's going to go down there today. And so it's reasonable to think that's not going to happen. It has to get through major support. It's got to get through a whole number, 6,800. Then it would have to go through 6,750, 6,700. It's just not going down there today. Right? But isn't ATR lagging info? No, you're taking an average range. I mean, you put it in your software, whatever, average true range. And so if I put that, I get that from TC2000. The actual number is 100.96. So you could say it's 101. It's close enough. It's just a guide as to what's happening now. So this tells us, could it go down 100 points today? And where would that put prices? And so sure it could. And so, going back to SPY and seeing where prices are at, they're down near yesterday's low. So back to SPX, prices, assuming they're going to open up down at yesterday's low and go 67.82, give or take, would put it in this area, breaking below this low of major support. So a greater than 100% retracement. And the 100 MA is right there. And I'm putting my cursor on the 20 on the weekly. And now you see where the cursor is on the daily. So we have alignment of support, a moving average. It could poke through it a whole number. I think there's going to be a lot of volume or open interest at that level. And so we'd look for prices to stabilize there. You want to see, Alice, I guess you're talking to him. So when you say HDI contraction for a turn, that's a way of saying it's kind of, look, those of you in the room that are learning, just remember that certain comments, if you bring up, I'm talking about ATR. Now, Alex is talking to you about that, and he mentions that you want to see contraction of that number, which you're actually looking at contraction of the ranges. Right? We don't base our opinions on indicators. I'm just pointing this out to show a number of how what the expectations and partial could be for a move today. So this gives us good information. Ultimately, you're going to see a contraction in ranges bar by bar analysis in the time frame that you're looking at. So if I see prices get down here, I think that's our view today, that prices can come down into this area based on what I said. Okay, fine. They go down there. Now, from there, right, this is, I think, is on a 30-minute chart. What we're going to be doing in the room is looking at the 5-minute chart. Did that change? No. We're going to be looking at the 5-minute chart. And of course, this is an updating, but you get what I mean. We're going to look at the 5-minute chart when it gets down there, and we're going to look for contraction in ranges, right? Smaller candle body, bottoming tail bars. As the ranges contract, what that communicates is the forces between supply and demand are beginning to meet each other, right? Whereas as prices are collapsing, there's always supply and demand. Right? Unless if there wasn't some kind of equilibrium, it would gap and there'd be a void, right? Gap down. And so when it gets down there, we watch the price bars, and same as we did yesterday, and we did the day before when the Qs came down to our support level. Okay, so it's reasonable to think it's not coming down here today. So assume it comes down here. If there's premium between 6,700 and 6,750, I think it'd be a no-brainer because there's another pivot line right there. All right. Other markets quickly. Qs breaking down below this major support level. That suggests it's coming down here. Now, it's a greater than 100% retracement. It's below 25,000. It could stop before. Here's a 5-minute chart, just slopping back and forth here. So we'll be looking to see some alignment between different indices as they begin to make turns. Russell, that gave it up yesterday, holding up pretty good. Some kind of retest reversal pattern down here in the coming days. That would be a desirable setup to be looking for. Now YM was up near the high of the day. So could this crazy market break this thing out to new all-time highs? If this continues to go sideways as the other markets reach support, would say, yeah. but we have to see how it's going to hold up. All right. Uh, see gold reverse back down again. Um, so far holding this area. Why can't I move that? Anyway, it's there. You can see that's reversing. Some retest reversal down here could be a setup for gold waiting there. Silver's getting down big time, big reversal, and Bitcoin is collapsing in here. Looks like it's going to be going lower. Support is down below. And well, even you can see copper here is dropping, but holding up relatively well. Probably they all have to start dropping, and we see capitulation. Volatility index. Where is it? Gapping up. Now it's in this area of the prior high. And this one backed off. So the other high is way up here. Doesn't mean it has to go up there, but I'll be keeping an eye on this today to see if it spike where it goes to. If it spikes up toward 25 or I'll be watching that to see if how far it goes today. And interest rates are down. So here, this is prices of bonds. This is just flip-flopping back and forth, back and forth. And while it had broken down, implying that it's going to go lower, even with a reversal bar like this that took out the highs and down, which typically bar by bar would result in a move to the downside. But with the market selling off, this would communicate that some money is going back into bonds. Good place to park it until the coast is clear, I suppose. But it's not negating the fact that this broke down. And other than that, yeah, is the euro pulling back. We're keeping an eye on the dollar too, because of that crazy move that it had. You see this big bottoming tail bar, this breakdown failure that occurred on the weekly time frame of the dollar. So that's it. We'll see what today brings. Looks like lower prices for now. What are yours, Dan?
Good morning. Yeah, I love market sell-offs like this, fluid bars down, because then we'll have a ton of CLIMOs and a ton of put spreads. And we have a big list of CLIMOs right now, actually. And as Greg said, a lot of the big flyers cracking semis. The SanDisk sector I've been watching for a while. And that, that's a small little Bear Island reversal. There's things are toppy. I mean, look at this weekly. It's insane. Thing rallied, broke out at $40, went up to 7. Crazy moves in that sector. MU with another one. We were going to do a call spread. And I am in all 4 of these are spready. That was the problem. So with Bitcoin collapsing, coin here is on my list. The lower, the better. Wow, that's a monster volume yesterday. No turn in. Elf alarm. That was an earnings trade we did short of the $72 puts way the heck down here. And that was insane. We got like $1.10. So what I'll do is just wait 5 minutes, and then what I do is I buy the highest strike I can for a penny, provided they have penny increments. And then I got myself a free put spread. IoT alarm. There's a CLIMO. At least that one closed green with a minor bottoming tail. I got an alarm at 25.40. Rig T, we're in trail mode. We're short. Low alarm went off. Looks good. have been what a monster. That's a beautiful buy setup. Now, when I get deeper tracements like this, I don't expect a new high. And man, that recovered 90% in 2 days. I would have never predicted that. But we're in trail mode. Looks great. Cake. We're in trail mode. Looks like I had our stops under here. Reset the alarm cues. Yeah, all four horsemen. Looks like they're cracking new lows right now. OTEX. Another climb up. This one looks good for a day trade or swing. Look at the 15-minute chart. That is a beautiful inverse head and shoulders. So ideally it chops around until after 10 a.m. and then maybe the market will stabilize at the same time, and then it takes out yesterday's high, and that's good to go. That looks great. All right, let's Getty we're in. Realty, a couple REITs are doing really well. Look at that. We entered on the green day. We have a full position. We're in trail mode and stopped yesterday's low. SGHC. Yeah, continuation short pattern. ISRG, another climb out. Yeah, my up alarm went off pre-market. I think that one can get spready. Set a new alarm for 82. All right, let's go to earnings. Yeah. Another climb out. No turn. It's a mess. Nothing to do. Maybe sell a put over yesterday's high. I'll set an alarm at 620. See if it can get back there. XEO. On top of the range, needs to go sideways. But yeah, I think it's capping up. So that could be a bottoming pattern, 30-minute high. Google getting whacked. I did a condor on this myself. $2.50 wide. I did the 300s and the 370s. So I'll wait 5 minutes, and I'm thinking I should have a nice open profit because it's still $12 away. But we'll see at the open. Nothing to do with it now. It's a new trade. Qualcomm getting whacked. I'm going to watch that as a possible put spread. That's a big gap. Big gap down. What was sure exceeded the expected move. P10 strong, bullish, daily, weekly, monthly. But no entry here. It's a gapping up after 3 up days. ARM software. This one, I think I said yesterday, you could trade up or down. Continuation short. You got a 180 on the weekly, or had it taken out Tuesday's high, then it would have been a long. But as of right now, call spread idea. If there's any juice, yesterday's high. Met up a little bit, junk. SYM. This was up, and this would be a nice bullish turn at the 200 over Tuesday's high. But wow, look at that. That's an $8.5 point swing. pre-market. I'll reset my alarm at 56. Otherwise, not gonna worry about it. Wolf, that's a nasty gap. Percent wise, look at that. But nothing to do. MOD gapping down. That could be a call spread. Today's Thursday, so our call spreads are only 1 DTE. And I didn't look yet, but I don't even know if they have weeklies, but that would be the deal on that. Trade's a little wild to even to do a day trade, so there's another nasty gap, 78, but that's look, that's a nasty, continuation breakdown on the monthly. Something's not going right in that company. And whoa, that's a big gap too. Up and down $14. Wow. I don't know what they do, really, but I throw that in the category of bearish but excessive gap. This gap up, so this could be a 30-minute high if it can hold this gap up and chop around. And then I like this. The buy setup, small little breakdown failure. We got rising 20, 50. So this 30-minute high I like. I'm going to go ahead and set an alarm at 78.50 for now. Hope it doesn't go off. AOG, that was a nice closing breakout. Up here, 202. So it's actually gapping. Well, that is like volume also. Look how spotty that is. But if you can get a 1, 2, 3, it's a breakout from consolidation and a nice uptrend. 191. This, could be a gap and crapper. It's an excessive bullish gap. So this I like as a 1 DTE call spread. If there's got to go through the checklist, make sure they have weeklies, make sure they have good premium. There's the L that I did. QGen, $50. Another bearish gap, but no pattern. CCK shows it gapping down $3. So that maybe call spread and day trade short. There's a pro gap. There's no void, but that's a nice gap deep into resistance. So that's going to leave a bottoming tail on the weekly if it closes strong. So that's a put spread idea. Allegiant Airlines. Wow, that was a nice closing breakout for airline. Wow. Wow, that's a nasty gap too. There's a lot of nasty gaps here. Alarm. Oh yeah, I set it at 78.50. See, if it were to close like that, nice bullish inside bar, you would buy over tomorrow's high. All right, I'm gonna put 4 down there. I don't need SYM. Q's still weak, looks lower, still got a void. It's AMD. We did a put spread yesterday. Google's getting killed. Oh, that's ugly. I'm actually break even right now on Guggenheimer. So I'm going to kill it. Wow, absolutely, I'm killing it. All right, he didn't fill me yet. I guess the spreads are moving around. Let's see. Yeah, that's our Canadian bank. We have a actually, let's now move it 92.78. Well, the stock was 92.09, so I did give it a big old stop. So I'll just leave it for now. But it better not. If it takes out today's low, that's ugly.
SPX is almost at 6,800.
And I got filled on my Guggenheimer, so I'm out break even. But I'm making nice money on the ELF. It's it's showing I have a loss on ELF puts because of the stupid spread. Well, no, because he's not open yet. That's why. He's not open for business yet, ELF. I think there should be a rule on that. That's such bullshit. I mean, the guy, option market maker, is preventing orders from being sent. How? I gotta research that. How is that even possible? Like, let's say I'm bidding a nickel to close. They're not open, so nobody can see my order. How is that legal?